Okay, greetings everyone and welcome. Welcome to Morgan State University Research and Scholarship Webinar Series. This series is organized by the School of Education and Urban Studies in collaboration with Academic Affairs and Star Scholars Network. Today is the first day of Black History Month in the United States. Black History Month honors the contribution and sacrifices of African Americans who helped save the nation. This tradition started 96 years ago by Carter Wilson in 1926. So I played the jazz music in the background earlier. Meanwhile, maybe you can continue using the chat room for your introduction. I know I have invited many colleagues outside the US, despite the different time zone, and thank you. You can share your affiliation, discipline, contact information if you wish, to strengthen your professional network. In this virtual series, we host panel discussion on various topics related to educational pedagogies, innovative technologies, some international initiatives, and also research and collaboration, of course. There are at least 2 sessions scheduled every month for the both faculty and students, and feel free to join anytime. You will be receiving those from me. My name is Krishna Bista, Professor of Higher Education in the Department of Advanced Studies, Leadership and Policy at Morgan State University, also the founding editor of Journal of International Student. In a few minutes, you will hear from our panelists and the guest about their experiences of publishing books and also working on editorial board of a number of journals. They will share upcoming opportunities and the tips for publication. Each speaker will take about 3 to 5 minutes to present their opening remarks or publication experiences, and they will answer your question and invite you to participate in group discussion. So that's very simple outline. And also today or yesterday, just Chinese New Year began. So Happy New Year. This year is for bravery, confidence, and strong will for our research, publication, any collaboration. We have roughly 70 minutes ahead of us. We may finish a little bit earlier. In the room, I see definitely many familiar faces, expert in the field whom I had an opportunity to work together over the years. Using the chat room, I invite you to share, maybe some of your tips and experience of academic publications, maybe the books or journals, and definitely we will, invite you later on in about 30 minutes in group discussion. Before I invite our speaker, here is the bigger question of the day for all of us. I wanted to update you about some of our current program and the resources that may be interesting. So Dr. Chris Glass, and Chris Glass is at Boston College. He and I have heavy responsibility in running journals and the book series. In the last 3 years, we worked on 33 book projects. That's quite a lot. We did not take all of them. We selected few, and 8 professional journals in our open journals in education platform. So I will be talking those in a minute. So this is a list of our journals and publishing partner, including Routledge, Springer, Palgrave, Macmillan, and the University Press. And also these are the some professional journals. All of them are open access, meaning free to publish, free to access, and free to read for all forever. So some journal publish 2 issues per year, whereas the other journal publish at least 6 issues annually. We publish original article even in other languages. So here you can see some of those that we publish in Chinese, Bahasa Indonesia, and Spanish, and some of them are upcoming edition. You will hear other languages as well. These are original articles, and the entire volume include those on the top of regular issues. And all books in our series are published in collaboration with Journal of International Student, Open Journals in Education, and Star Scholars Network. any books that we have published in the past 32 months. So like these journals, every chapter in our book project, went through a standard peer review process. All reviewers and their names are printed in both print and digital edition of these books. On average, I would say it was 2 or 2.5 years for the publication process, from proposals to reviewing, chapters and proofreading and receiving the hard copy. I was definitely fortunate to collaborate with many emerging scholars as well as experts, including Roy Chen from Indiana University. Now he's at Lee University. Ryan Ellen from Chapman University. Peggy Jessing, Chris Glass, Susan Krumers. She was a doctoral student when I invited her to the project. C. Lane, Greg Malvo, Tony Pinders, Ravi Megan, Lingu, Just Mc, these are some of the names. And here are also the books that, I was so fortunate to work with them on a wide range of topics, and so important to us and for many of us who worked over the pandemics, and also published these books. And yes, they covered the student mobility, international faculty members, online teaching and learning, and these topics were selected based on our personal and professional experiences. So I strongly believe in the power of collaboration, and I invited all of you for the collaboration and to talk more about the research articles, the book projects, and these are the latest edition coming out. The HBCU international component is coming out this week. This is the first cover image I received last week. So here is the Star Scholar network. Includes roughly 17,000 professors and doctoral students from 112 countries. And they have been also serving on some of our journals. We usually partner with the local universities if there is a need for research and publication. This is our work volume. It's crazy, right? So don't get surprised. Yes, this is currently overload. We have more than I would say 5,000, manuscript annually in our books and journals, and individual like you who serve on the review board, and this cycle gets changed every 2 years. So you are more than welcome to be the part of the team. Then also we need editors as well as other contributor to support. All editors, author, and reviewers do not get paid. It's purely love of labor, and I've been doing this for almost 11 years. At least we are able to reach out many scholars in the global south, and that's the beauty and the joy of working it. Also, we do have other projects, some of them here. We have an annual global essay contest, and you can share this call for essays with your faculty or students. Always October 30th is the deadline. We accept essays in 8 different languages. I will share the link or the information in a minute via chat and as well as the email. Here are some of our institutions who sponsor and support the global essay contest. We announced those on the occasion of International Education Week. Also, we have the Millennium Scholar Program. Chris Glass is the lead on this, and the Lisa from Miami University, another great mentor-mentee opportunity. And this is completely free if you are recommended by the dean or the department chair of your institutions. Okay, then yes, these are again, I said, open access opportunity for you. I guess it's time to begin the program from short remarks from Professor Frim Ampaw, says my chair in the Department of Advanced Studies, Leadership and Policy at Morgan State University. She has published numerous articles and book chapters and served on editorial board of many journals in higher education. She also published recently one article in the GIS. Dr. Ampaw, over to you for brief remarks.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. We are really pleased to have such a diverse group of people from all over joining us today. I want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the shortfalls and the problems we are experiencing as a nation, and especially towards our HBCUs of Morgan State. Today, Morgan State served remotely because we could not come on campus due to a bomb threat, and we are hoping that these situations will be resolved soon because we have over 20 HBCUs whose current academic lives are being put on hold and put into despair because of all of these bomb threats. And so I want to acknowledge that and really hope for resolution for this soon. But at Morgan State, we have been denoted as a preeminent urban university, and it was one of the reasons I really accepted this job. So I started as department chair just this January, and I've only been on the job for 3 weeks. But I really wanted to join this institution because of what this department and this institution does and the ways in which it serves its people. And one of the ways in which I admire Morgan State is by maintaining that focus on the students we care about, but still pushing for that higher level of research and still pushing to become the preeminent voice in urban education and the preeminent voice in Black issues in the country. So, and we at the Department of Advanced Studies and Leadership and Policy, we strive to maintain that mission. We are the number one doctoral producing department at Morgan State, and we hold that firm and dear. And I am very grateful to Dr. Bista for taking on this project and for pushing for these webinar series to help push our research and our teaching and our scholarship in different ways. And so I'm really, thank you so much, Dr. Bista, for taking on this extra service, but then helping to build that research culture and that teaching culture and that sharing culture at within the department, within the school, and at Morgan. So publishing, that's one of the what we call hidden curriculum things, right? It's something that if you find a great mentor, they're going to tell you about. If you don't really know. It's really a hidden curriculum idea. And so I'm really glad we are going to be discussing that and what it takes to look at it from a journal perspective and from a book perspective. And so I'm really looking forward to this discussion, and I feel like I have been in the field for over 14, 15 years now. I'm currently serving as an associate editor, but I believe I'm going to learn a lot more, especially because I've never really done a book. I've always been very interested in journal articles, so I am really looking forward to the book sessions and to hear from people who specialize in writing books. So thank you all, and I'm looking forward to a great discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Ampaw. I truly appreciate that. I hope you can see my screen, right? No?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So we continue. These are some of our programs. We have 9 graduate programs in our. So Dr. Ampaw is busy, leading those 9 graduate programs in the department. We don't have undergraduate. That means we have to do more research and publication and more talk with many of scholars around the globe. In the room, I see covering at least 10 countries, even in a group of 30 people. So going back to our first discussion board, I put the question in the chat. So we'll take about 30 minutes or 20 minutes probably here to begin with the first panel. And I invited the editor of the journals that listed here. Some of them could not make this evening. So we have editor Josh Kunat from Journal of School Administration, Research and Development. This journal is housed at the California State University. And also we have a pleasure of Dr. Emmanuel Saleh, the founding editor of Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies in Education from Arkansas State University. We could not have Dr. Josh Lynch from Journal of Trauma Studies. This is from Appalachian State University. And of course, Dr. Ampaw, who represent Research in Higher Education Journal. So here, what we do is I like to ask each of the editors to talk briefly about their journal and share one or two tips or even more, or direction for those student or faculty who are interested in serving on your editorial board. Maybe we can go first with Dr. Saleh, the founding editor of the Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies, then maybe, Dr. Frame, and other members here.
Thank you, Chris. The Journal of Interdisciplinary Studies in Education is a 10-year-old. This year we'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of the journal. Chris helped me with the start at the beginning, and we aim to publish research, empirical research, mostly on the interdisciplinary practices and research conducted in higher education as well as public schools. We publish two issues a year, and we publish a special issue in the summer that usually is a themed issue in which we invite guest editors to edit that special issue. One of the things we always looking for, we average about 50 articles that we receive for each issue. We publish about 9 or 10 of them in each issue. We are peer reviewed. We are free to submit and publish your articles in our journal. It is double-blind peer review, and we're looking for always quality research to publish. We also looking for editors, reviewers, and authors to help collaborate on in our journal. One of the things, or kind of like the things that I'd advise young scholars to collaborate on your research, write with others, collaborate with experienced writers at the beginning. That will help you publish more. Also pay attention to your writing and get people to help you edit your manuscripts. One of the most common issues we deal with is having good research, but unfortunately, sometimes it requires a lot of work to edit. And so it would be nice if young scholars and people who want to be published to get some help with editing their manuscripts before they submit to the journal. I don't know what else to cover, Chris.
Thank you, Dr. Saleh. Okay, Dr. Ampaw.
Right, so I am an associate editor for the journal. Our journal is named Research in Higher Ed, and so Research in Higher Ed is unique in the field of higher ed. So we have about four top journals within the field of higher ed, and Research in Higher Ed is one of them. But because of the ways in which we were started, we were established from the Associate for Institutional Research, and so it was very focused on quantitative analysis and high-level methodology. And so we tend to within the field, we tend to actually publish. When you read our journal notes, we publish advanced work that is based off of advanced quantitative analysis. And so that has sort of pigeonholed us a little bit into we are the journal for the quantitative methods, but not necessarily. Our journal is more focused on policy, and so we accept all publications that are directed towards higher education policy. And so that's the main way we differentiate ourselves. But unfortunately, because of the nature of higher ed policy, it has been stereotyped into a quantitative way. And so we are really open to higher educational articles that focus on policy regardless of methodology. And so that is the niche. We really want ideas that focus on pushing where higher ed policy goes to. So our journal has an editorial board, and the requirements for our editorial board, you have to be invited to join the editorial board, and we only unfortunately accept people who have been published in the journal to become members of the editorial board. But what we do have is an ad hoc reviewer process, which we invite people to become ad hoc reviewers, because we believe that we are able to mentor ad hoc reviewers to become to publish in the journal. Because as you're an ad hoc reviewer and you see what is coming in the field, especially for new professionals, being open and exposed to the new articles and the new ideas in the field serves as a mentoring process. And so as an editorial board and as an editor team, we are very set on inviting people to become ad hoc reviewers and helping mentor them with the goal of helping them become authors within the journal, which would then push them into actually becoming the editorial board member. And so that's the goal of the journal, and that's how we use our ad hoc reviewers. And so I invite you all, if you're interested, to talk to me about becoming a part of our ad hoc reviewer team, and I will be happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ampaw. Maybe we can take one or two questions here. And I have also invited Dr. Jaspreet Kaur from La Trobe University in Australia. She's here in the room. So if you want to chime in anything, that's great. Dr. Saleh's journal is open access. There is no fees, anything. And Dr. Ampaw's journal is also free for the authors. However, there is institutional fees. If you want to publish open access, Dr. Ampaw's journal costs 1,990 euros per article. If we accumulate, if we had charged that cost over our open journal system, probably we would have $1 billion by now. So that's the one beauty of keeping open access. And the good news is we became number 10, ranked 10 among all higher education journals, the Journal of International Student. And I so appreciate Dr. Ryan Ellen and many other colleagues here, Dr. Ray Chen, for leading the initiative, and of course, Boston College and Dr. Glass, and even many of my colleagues here at the Morgan to have that rank secured. The magic was just open access, giving a free access for anyone, anywhere. Although it cost a lot of money and time for any journals to run these professional level and to maintain that rigor and quality integrity of the publications. But again, we have lots of opportunity for there. Dr. Kaur, do you want to chime in, or Dr. Ellen, or Dr. Chen, or anyone in the room? Everyone is a speaker here, and you are invited.
I'll just chime in to talk, just to advocate for open access. We see that, and we're sort of stuck in a system, right, where the faculty, administrators were doing the work, the researchers were doing the work, and sort of a lot of the money gets funneled into these big publishers making, it's really $1 billion industry. And the open access movement is a great idea. We're taking things out of the ivory tower and moving it into where everyone can have access. I'm sure we've all tried to find an article for some sort of literature review or something, and we go to the journal website page, suddenly we don't have access to it. We don't have institutional access. It's great to remove that, and anybody can go and read them, but they've placed the burden now with this gold open access movement, which is what it's called, onto the individual author, the individual researcher. And that does create more divides, I think, in our sector, in our field, in global science, and who can publish in journals. For instance, I saw recently Nature announced a open access fee that you have to pay if you're going to publish in one of their journals, and the cost is $11,000. $11,000. I think that's just unacceptable to create inequalities throughout the world, really. So the Journal of International Students and sort of a lot of the journals that are trying to practice open access, I will always work for them. I'll always review for them. I'm really grateful of the things they're doing in the field. And thank you, Dr. Bista, for starting that. Thank you, everyone else, for working on them, because I think they're really important and a model for a lot of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ellen. Appreciated. When we talk the open access, also we should be mindful of the predatory journals. There are several commercial journals, they say open access, fast review process, and also they brag about their ranking, Scopus listing, and many other things. So as a scholar, as a critical consumer of education, we should be very mindful of where these journalists start, their practice, their, take a look the editorial board, and also look into the sample, the articles they published. So having these, information ahead of you would be really helpful. I know many of you who are emerging scholar, those who are in a career ladders, there may be, more complication later on, particularly the tenure committee, your doctoral graduation requirement committee. They might, take a look. Sometimes the senior professional can smell, the article that you publish from before you start bragging of your achievement. So there are also critical things to definitely take into consideration. So the best person for you is always your mentors, colleagues who have been in the field, run by them, rather than, being in a hurry. And that's hurriness is particularly the questionable in the global South. In the room, I see many colleagues, from Nepal, Kazakhstan, Kenya, other part, you have a pressure from your dean, provost, presidents to publish on top tier journal or Scopus listed journal. And in the name of Scopus, I know you have been already victim of the publication, cycle. Okay, great. We take other comment or question. We are quiet here, so no question, no comment, anything. Maybe Dr.
Good morning, Professor Bista. This is Chandra Upadhyay from Tribhuvan University in Nepal. Sorry, I'm not visualized, but I can speak just here with my video off. Thank you. In fact, I would like to thank the organizing committee, and it's an opportunity for me to be connected with you all. As you just mentioned before, sometimes we are lost how to proceed ahead, and we are in big confusion where to go and which journal to choose actually, because in my place too, so many offers, so many emails, a lot of things come, and from different part of the world, requesting for articles, requesting for being editors, reviewers, and so on. This opportunity, I think, really connects me to the right platform, and I would love to be connected and learn more and to share what I have learned with my colleagues here. Thank you indeed. As a student of sociology, if you get any scope for me to be connected, first of all, I want to learn. That means I want to contribute my papers so that I can be in the loop. And once I'm done with some publication through your organization, through your team report, then I'll be working further. Thank you very much.
Thank you also for representing one of the mega university, Tribhuvan University, the number 9th, the largest university on the planet. Thank you, Professor Upadhyay. Any other comment, suggestion, tips you want to share with us? This is your opportunity. You are the speaker. You can simply just turn on the microphone, and chime in.
Dr. Bista, this is Kesabatra speaking from University of Central Missouri. And can I speak?
Welcome. Yes, sir.
Okay, my question is, I was on and off while you were talking, then because of some issue here. So if I have not heard everything what you have said and asking questions that is irrelevant or that was already explained, please forgive me. My question is, how could I contribute as an editor or reviewer? Because I have not published anything on your area, and my area is geography. And of course, I love to join this stream and renowned scholar. I saw that there are scholars from all geographic areas around the world. So it will be a very encouraging platform for me to get
Thank
acquainted
you. Thank-
with the scholars from all over the world and to know about the world. And so could you please suggest me how could I contribute or first thing I need to publish or I can contribute without publication in reviewing or in editing or something like this? Thank you.
Of course, thank you. Professor Sala, you want to chime in, or Dr. Ampaw?
Uh, okay.
I can hear
Well,
you.
I can start.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the things I always encourage people who haven't really published within it is there there is so, and this is usually coming at new students, but there's something that you are interested in, and one of the very interesting and somewhat easier ways to get published is to publish a literature review and do take a look at what is currently in the field, and if anybody hasn't done an analysis, a good literature review analysis of it. I think that is always one good step of trying to get into publishing and getting into becoming known, and a good literature review opens you up for more ideas. And so my encouragement, and we have a lot of different journals, and my journal I know does that, is if you have a good literature review, especially with research and higher ed, if you have a literature review that is targeted at looking at a policy issue, we will take a look at it and publish it. And so, and with a literature review, you are not necessarily trying to collect data and doing the analysis. It's one of the good first steps of getting within a field and publishing within a field.
So may I ask you the supplementary question?
Professor Bhattarai, let me tell you this, and then we can take your follow-up question, and also, Dr. Sala will chime in. The first thing is we have a wide range of journal, more interdisciplinary, multidisciplinaries. So geography is probably one of the best one. You may not believe, I ran the student mobility series, the global student mobility series, which is a part of the geography, the mobility. And then we look into multiple aspects of the mobility of the faculty and the students. So in the chat, I put the link ojed.org. You can select all the link, no matter whichever journal you select. If you are going on this open access platform, I strongly recommend and encourage both reviewers and editors to be familiar with the aims and scope of the journals that you are interested in. And also you are required to update your profile, create a username, password, insert your area of expertise, so that you are likely to get the manuscript that align with your deep interest. As a reviewers, you are required to give specific comments and suggestions for each major section of the articles. It could be introduction or lit review or method results. And in order to be the OJED reviewers, you are also required to complete a training. We have a 60-minute trainings. Once you finish the training, you get a certificates and you are invited. You can be the readers. So one of the goal we strongly encourage all of you is to provide meaningful comments to any manuscript that you read, because we want to feel proud that at least we provide quality comments, even though we reject their manuscript, so that the author can take those comments and work on their manuscript. That's what we strongly believe in. So the other thing is, in my discipline, or all OJED journals follow APA, publication guidelines, American Psychological Association 7th edition. We encourage our reviewers to be familiar at least some part of the APA manuals. Usually every single reviewers is supposed to get somewhere from 6 to 10 manuscript per year. So 10 manuscript, I don't know how long it takes, depending on how fast you read and the element of the manuscript you look into. Also, reviewers and editors, both group of the scholar, are expected to attend 2 virtual meetings. That's the 2 years commitment, 2 meetings virtually. So both editors and reviewer discuss some of the changes, the practices. If you are coming to the editors, editor will make independent evaluation of the manuscript. Editor will send out manuscript to the reviewers. If they are okay, make decision, and decision on the assigned article by the editor-in-chief or the senior editors. So as I said earlier, we have several openings for the reviewers. Mainly, also we are looking for the copy editors. That could be from English department as well, if you are interested, and of course editors. So you can indicate your interest even here in the chat, or you can email one of the editors here in the room. And then Professor Bhattarai, we can take your follow-up questions, and anything's there, Dr. Saleh will chime in, or anybody from the room.
Okay, thank you very much. So my recent publication was from the Springer. I have posted the link there.
Thank you.
And so this is the latest book, and I have published 3 books. One with the Scarecrow Publications, and one with the Barlag Springer, and the other one is the Springer Nature. So these are the books besides my journal articles. So
that's very impressive. Congratulations, Professor Bhattarai. Actually,
thank you.
Help us to go to the next segment of our program. If there are no any questions, or we'll take all the questions again. We do have another 30 minutes or so discussion.